Hi, my name is Jordan Lauderdale, and today I'm going to be telling you a little bit about the 88. Actually, to continue on, the 88 Act is nothing new to America, but over the past couple of decades, we've been seeing such great things. Thankfully, the 88 Act has really benefited the people with disabilities community, and it is just such a beautiful thing that they have done, and we want to continue this growth in a positive way. Recently, we've been seeing things about electronic evolution in the sense of the ADA Act, so people complying with there. But one thing that we're still lacking in is the way we are not formally complying with the act itself. We have seen time and time again, whether it be through YouTube videos, Instagram Reels, TikTok videos, things on Twitter, and so much more, how sidewalks are going unregulated. Without this regulation process, we see a lot of people really struggling in their daily lives, whether that be going to a doctor's appointment, to go to class, or to go hang out with their community and be with their friends. No matter the case, it's still critical that we are following and complying by the ADA Act. The American with Disabilities Act is such a critical way that America has been formed and shaped in the past about 33 years, and we want to continue its growth. So, going deeper into the problem that we're facing is we're seeing more sidewalks and things just being limited. So people with disabilities aren't able to walk through those, not able to get their wheelchair through. They're not able to have their service dogs guide them correctly because things are not properly placed and properly formatted to comply with the ADA Act. Without this compliance, people are losing valuable time in their days and people are going unnoticed. People probably are just choosing to ignore it as well. People are sitting there saying, I can't go this way. It's going to be so much more work if I fill out this form and this form to have a settlement come about than to just find a new route that they can spend a little bit more time walking through. There are plenty of YouTubers around that have shown some of these things. There's a YouTuber, I believe her name is Molly. She is a blind YouTuber. She kind of focuses more in the beauty industry, but she shows how her life is daily being somebody blind with that disability. She has a lovely channel. She shows different things. She has a service dog and shows how different apps and things are helping her. But there are times when the service dog can get lost. So we don't want people like Molly, a public figure, to be seeing these things and reporting them and people getting in more trouble than they need to. Currently, the main solution to our problem, the status quo, if you will, is getting a complaint. And after this complaint is filed, we kind of go through the process. Um, the Medico Citico law firm, as of 2025, 2026, says that the first step is a lawsuit is filed in the federal court, and then the plaintiff claims they encountered a barrier that denied them access. So whether that means they couldn't fit through, their wheelchair couldn't go through, XYZ, there's many things that could have happened. From there, the court may order an inspection of the property, and the owner must respond and begin corrective action. So whether that be adding a ramp somewhere or adding the tread marks or something, whatever the person was saying wasn't in compliance. And then there's attorney fees, court costs, and then settlement demands, and those all rapidly add up. This is an issue that everybody could be aware of if we just kind of start before this even happens. In order to do that, if we start increasing the inspections for ADA compliance, we can eliminate all of those problems that we're having. So if we look at our SWOT analysis here, we would see that there is a lot of strengths with this. So ensuring the compliance with the ADA Act, it will reduce the lawsuits for the company. So it would cut out that whole middleman and just really improve the quality of life for the people in Orlando. While there is a couple weaknesses, so including an initial investment, so having the increase in inspections, and it's hard to implement. While we can try our best, not everybody will follow. And there's a good chance that we'll see a little bit of time before we fully see all of the effects set in. And lastly, there would be political setback. This pushback would really be in the sense of our monetary value, so our money in funding this campaign, along with a couple other things, but to my knowledge, I feel like that would be the biggest setback. But there's a lot of opportunities that we can gain from this. So we can become one of the leading leaders city-wise for ADA compliance, and the economic compliance would be beautiful. And this would build a lot of relationships for people with disabilities in the city of Orlando, seeing how we care and we're putting their time, they would put more time into the community themselves. Again, coming back to some kind of threats that we could have, again, budget, political recoils, the legal issues could be becoming a problem, and then the issues with the companies paying fines and such. This could really cause some big setback and pushback from the community. But increasing the inspections, so currently looking at what hasn't been inspected for the kind of compliance that we're looking for would be kind of a hard thing to do, but would going back and checking those would be beneficial for the entire community. And then looking at the new builds, if we start doing compliance checks during each building while they're being built, we're saving more money there as well. While this would strain resources for a small period of time, if Orlando looked through all the current builds being built and things that are already built, this would ensure the compliance. And after we start there and really go through there, we would be able to just really start working on the newer builds themselves and not having to look at the old ones. This would most likely go back towards our taxpayers a little bit. So they're seeing the difference in the community, but everybody deserves the right to walk on a sidewalk. We don't want to take that away from anyone. So we should be willing to pay a 0.5% increase, a 1% increase, a 5% increase in order to have all of this happen. And we can only have to do that for a short amount of time before we can ensure the city is under compliance and then really cut back our resources to ensure that only the new builds are under the compliance. If we are looking at implementing fines on people, this will ensure that they are ready to comply. If we set out those inspectors, they see that something is wrong and they talk to the owner saying, hey, this is your fine of X amount of dollars. And from this point, X date, you have to either get the appraisal or you have to change whatever is wrong or whatever it may be. If they don't do that, they are hit with another fine and eventually they will become compliant. And while there would be some pushback, and that is a big threat that we could come into, it is a critical component in reaching our main goal. I personally think the best way to use our resources and everything would be using a mix of both methods. So keeping the status quo, if there's a complaint, we're going and checking and we're following up and whatever. But we're also taking our time to make sure we're compliant first before we have to scrap everything we do and rebuild. Doing so will help us monetarily with the money and would just ensure that everybody around us is happy and healthy and everybody has the same opportunities as everybody else. That is all we're looking for. The American Disabilities Act has helped and benefited tons of people. I know throughout my time, I've seen it in action. My aunt, she was a lovely person and she was one of my biggest mentors, and I look up to her for everything in the world. She had a lot of disabilities, and every day she was benefited by this act. There are people out there, and these are our civil rights. We should let everybody have them. So I hope you look into this and you understand what is happening and how we can be able to, if we just take a couple steps forward to comply even more with the ADA Act. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.